the first time in years, I felt like I was home.
So basically, she's coming back to
But
her
instead of
home
a
after a very
family,
long
there were
time.
just memories of one.
I've played a little bit, so yeah, that's basically it. She's coming back home after a very long time, and
Like
her
how only
brother
one
died or
restaurant would
someone
deliver to our
died.
house, so we had Chinese a lot.
We had Chinese. Okay, cool. Her brother died or someone died. That's why she's
Or how
back
after
home.
Louis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Oh, salmon. Okay.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
Someone was handicapped. Oh, what's this? Why is it all glued up?
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library. Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too
So she
surprised
got
when the
this
key
key,
didn't fit.
which her mom gave her, and she has to find out where it goes.
Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house. The table was still a wreck from the night we left.
The night they left. Okay, something happened. Holy shit. Is that blood? No, that's
It was like
the
a bomb
swine.
had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
Okay. What's here? That's the garage. What's this?
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
Wait. अच्छा यहाँ पर कैसे किचन था वो बाहर नहीं आ रहा. Should I go up now? It didn't work there, so I should go up.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes. I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room.
Great uncle.
I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
Yeah, this looks cool.
Louis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him. Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets.
Oh, what?
Now it
Wait.
was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
Wait, what? There is something new. What's here? Let me check. Yeah, Molly.
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947.
Okay, she died in 1947, so basically Molly can be her grandma or something? Yeah, something. That would make sense. Let's go inside. Oh, this is the...
Reading this,
wait, I
maybe
can go
it
to
sounds
the...
like I had a plan,
I can go to
but I had no
Molly's
idea what was
place.
behind that door.
Yes, Molly's place.
Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
Oh.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
Okay, she's starving.
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
What the? Okay, this is Molly. This is her grandma or something. I thought about
I
it.
thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
Okay, don't eat the goldfish. Fuck you, dude. Don't eat the goldfish. Okay, Molly is bleeding. Oh, I'm short now. Wait, what?
I kept eating and eating.
Oh my god, she's eating toothpaste? What the fuck is this game?
I ate a lot of things that night.
She ate toothpaste. Nice. Don't drink the water.
Then I heard chirping outside my window.
Yay.
It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her,
Don't.
and suddenly, I was a cat.
Wait. What? What? Weird. Hello.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Okay, the bird is really scared, so just don't disturb the bird, I guess. Where should I go now? There? Where should I go now?
I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
Nibbling in the grass, okay. Where am I going?
Rabbits.
Eat the rabbit.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
Flew off to find something bigger. What else do you want to eat, demon?
A mama rabbit.
Where's the mama rabbit? Yeah, mama rabbit. Oh. Where's mama rabbit? Where's mama rabbit?
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
Wait, can you have a shark now? What's happening?
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seals. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
One minute.
Grabbed on tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
Wait, what? Now an octopus or something? What is this?
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
Wait, I'm an octopus now. Technically an octopus.
I was big, but I moved real quiet.
I'm eating people now.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
His belly was rusty,
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And to cross the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
It'll come out of the toilet. Oh, I knew it.
I got closer and closer. All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
1999, 80. Okay. He died then. Okay. Let's close it up.
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors.
Obviously.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
Okay, great-grandma. This is great-grandma Edie. What? Okay.
Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea.
Wait, what happened? Okay, okay.
Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Yep, that's pretty much it. That's enough. Cool.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
Odin. Now we know Odin.
Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones. Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him.
Okay.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
Yeah, should have. Where's this? Okay.
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time.
Edith Jr. Electric. That's pretty much it here, I guess. I'm done.
Even in her 90s. Sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Oh my god, it's all pink. Holy shit. It's all pink. And this is chair inside.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom.
Is this one key for every story? That's pretty cool. Every book.
There's a secret in this bathroom.
Oh,
It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Oh my god. Whoa. Holy shit. This is so cool.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Would never put it down. Okay. Oh, so basically, this lady, she used to take photos and put it up, and this is the secret dungeon she has. It's weird how every
From the
person
paintings
in
on the
this-
wall, it was clear my brother
this
Milton
family
had been
has
here
a
before me.
secret. Oh, what's this? Whose room is this now?
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Does not.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again, and he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
He is gonna fly. I guess. He's gonna
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it.
fly. Yep.
I
knew
told
it.
him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind.
What do I do now? What's going on?
That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
How many people died?
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to
Okay.
do the exact same thing.
So basically, okay, wait. This is 1880, 1937, Wally, 1987, 1961. Okay. Cool.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Is this another secret? Oh shit. Open. We don't know what. Oh my god. What? Let's go, dude. Every room has a secret.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
What's up here? Let's start.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
They always wanna know about Barbara. And who's Barbara? Is this Barbara's room? Oh, this is Barbara's room, yes.
Growing
Oh,
up,
she's famous.
I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Wait, is that? What do you call that? You call that what do you call it? What do you call this thing? What do you call this? Okay, I forgot.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
She was famous.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding
and
until
winding.
finally the key pops out.
Key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
Holy shit. Now I can open the...
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Okay, I am in the Okay, I'm just reading the fucking comic.
She
And I'm in the
found
comic.
Rick's
I'm
crutch and
literally
imagined
playing
the
in the
worst.
comic. Inside the comic. This is so epic.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
There's another handicap. So that someone was handicapped after that. After she died or something.
Walter, are you there?
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And here he was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully.
And now I can just open the door and just...
Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
I'm gonna trip over that.
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Behind her.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box was all they ever found of her. Her ear.
Oh my fucking.
Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Holy shit. Oh my god. There's a ear. Alright. Cool.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Cool. What can I do now? Should I just bail out or something? Is there a secret over here? Is there a secret over here?
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Calvin?
My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin. It's funny. All those times I played with the music box as a kid, I just found every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of. The last time I was in Edith Senior's room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
Okay. This is where that was and that was that. Okay, now I can go up. I've searched everything out. I've been there as well. She was a really famous Barbara.
Mom must have locked the 3rd floor stairs on the night we left.
Yep, so I have to just go down and then I have to just wind that shit up. Now that key. What? I heard something.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
Packing peanuts? Okay. Yup, I got the key. She's never been here all her life.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
Tetanus shot, okay. There's a lot of traps. And then there's this.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that. I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could.
There's a bunker. Oh
If
my
there's a
God.
pattern in all these stories,
This is a bunker.
I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
That's not a scenery, that's just a picture.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly.
Another can of what? What's this?
And then one day, everything just
2005?
Stop.
What the? He's been there for a long time.
Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can.
There's another basement inside a basement. Oh, I mean another bunker inside a bunker. What? Another hall with food.
I know it's out there somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
He died from a train crash. Cool.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
Damn.
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me. Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house,
Uncle under the house.
I can only imagine what else she was hiding.
Exactly. Wait,
I don't want to
this
make
is-
the same
this is
mistakes
where-
she made.
This is where he dumped all the trash. Holy shit.
Trying to bury something that's
Wait,
still
there are
alive.
train tracks, yeah.
Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe two, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
Is maybe Walter's grave or something?
I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now.
There's something up there.
I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth. And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
Wait, what? There's a cemetery?
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils are mine, and 2 had been my fault. Sven built the house, but it was Edith who designed the cemetery.
Human cemetery, okay. Barbara Finch, Walter Finch, Eddie Finch, Sam Finch, Calvin Finch, Molly Finch.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night. Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us.
Wait, what? 2000 what? 2000.
There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Wait, what? I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant. You were just 17. Okay, she's saying it like if she was pregnant, she wouldn't have come. I think so.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense.
Pretty intense. Okay. Just like what else?
Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
What's the next?
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
He was a big hunter. He loved to hunt. There's nothing else to see. Let's go.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend.
Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are. Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee. Hey!
That's a keeper.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Dawn, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph?
What's more interesting?
Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere. I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time. Give me a minute to check the map. Let's see. Maybe. You don't need to waste any more film on me, kiddo. Or was it? It could have been. eyes, Don.
Here.
Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Let me get behind you.
Take a shot.
Do I have to do this?
Don, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Don! I'm proud of you, Don. Always remember that, okay? Sorry, Don. Just gotta reset the timer.
Here's the time.
Hang on, kiddo. Just trying to get a shot of the two of us together. Crap.
Oh, I have to go. I have to play like. Ah, here, got it. Some fucking stand here. Yep. So basically that guy. I don't know.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Don. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about.
Dad!
Oh, fuck, he died like that. Okay.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me. After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot. I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, We don't need a stepmom, were the words that I
I now
remember.
pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
The words came out.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
This guy.
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
Gus.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Who's this toddler?
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Time's over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello?
I have more time to play. Yes.
Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like.
What else? What was like?
You remind reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was he saw. It sure made him happy. I know how silly it sounds. That I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw.
He's gonna fucking die.
There's so much I don't understand about Gregory. About everything. But I know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.